This is the final of 3 videos on the nacelle. Last thing we have to do is the leading edge. What we're going to do is scale the front cross section here by creating a point on circle, which puts it in the center. And then we can scale it relative to that point, maybe 85%. Just a ballpark number. And we'll try and get it close to the front view of the drawing. 80% seems good. And now we will create a plane through, normal to the cross section we just created, through a point at the top, which is the front of that guide curve. And now we will draw a profile view of the leading edge. And this is a lot of just guessing. Really no idea what the inside curve looks like. Perhaps you could do some research and find, but just gonna ballpark something. I projected the inner cross section onto the plane so I could get a point to constrain that to. And we want the plane that we have, the frontmost plane that we created in the first video. We want the front of our leading edge to be coincident with that. I'm not sure what's up with the angle, the twist there in the spline, and I couldn't get rid of it, so just start fresh. I want a tangent on the first point. And then just creating a tangent on the last point, make sure we get the right direction. And we'll make it horizontal. Not that it necessarily is. Yeah, so yeah, we'll make it, this is probably better, 120 degrees. Still get that kind of sharp change in curvature on the top there. Add some more control points to try and get rid of that. That looks decent. Now we'll create a swept surface. And our guide curve 1 will be the outer section. Guide curve 2. Well, we're going to have to switch the guide curve style here in a second, because that's not going to work. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Wait for my past self to figure this out. Okay, this is the one we want. And our profile is that sketch. Our guide curve is the inner curve. And leave the surface as default. And there's our leading edge. We'll fill in this inner cross section. You could put a picture of the front of an engine in there if you wanted, or if you create a real engine, just leave it open. You might want to do some more of the internal of the nacelle if you leave it open instead of just the leading edge. We'll end up filling that front plate black later. Right now we're going to heal all the pieces together. I'm not going to worry about the colors till later videos. So I left the bulk of the nacelle as I froze it and then healed the leading edge. Of course, now we need to reflect this nacelle over to the other side, to the starboard side. Using the symmetry tool, and that goes over the XZ plane. Be sure to reflect the heel that you created. I didn't heel the front on. I'm just gonna, it's simple enough, I'll just create a new one. And the last thing we will do is clean up the pylons a little bit by cutting the nacelle, or cutting a pylon and the nacelle where they meet. So we'll cut the pylon using the element as the nacelle, the cutting element as the nacelle. Same thing on the other side. Might want to just do this first. Well, I guess you couldn't do it first and then reflect both of them. Unless you just did one half of the pylon at a time, which you could. Nothing wrong with that. And then the nacelle will also have a hole in it, so we'll cut the nacelle as well. The hole might not actually be that shape, but there would be some sort of hole for all the structure and fuel lines, etc. to go through. That is all we have for the nacelles. The engines will be created in the systems video.